Welcome back. If you're suffering from the post-summer blues and fancy a sneaky breakaway before the festive season comes about, the festive season, holy moly, then ta-da, this next segment is right for you.
Travel writer Thomas Bratnock joins us now with some ideal destinations to suit every budget.
Morning,
Good morning to you,
Nice to
Thomas.
see you guys. How's the form?
Thank you for joining us. You've got some great ideas. Well, we go straight into it.
Let's do it.
Because we're going to West Waterford first.
Yeah, West Waterford. So I think with autumn, I thought, leaf peeping, this kind of aspect of the leaves.
Leaf peeping?
Yeah, have you heard of this? It's like
I
the new...
have.
Yeah, so
this is a very American term
very
now.
American. It's kind of snuck in here. But I was thinking, where would be the best place or autumn, fall-y vibe in Ireland? And I think it would be West Waterford. So if you go to places like Lismore or Cappoquin, you have... I guess from back in the day when the planters came and set these amazing woodland and forest in the area, it's probably the best place to go in Ireland. You have all these like oaks and horse chestnuts and amazing kind of woodland that they've kind of developed. And now's the time. If it would dry up a bit, I think that would be to see some spectacular
And in particular,
scenery.
are you looking at any particular places to stay or eat or do?
Yeah, so a really amazing, I think because we tend to gravitate towards the west, there's some amazing kind of country houses in the kind of the Midlands and off the coast, which are well worth seeing. And one of them, a place I really love, is called Dromana House. That's just overlooking the Blackwater.
It looks amazing.
It's
Look at it.
completely stunning, yeah. And these...
Do you know what? We have so many of these places that like we've never heard of. And then you see the footage and they're incredible.
Incredible. And also they have like pretty good value because they don't have... I mean, if you got a place like this in Killarney, it would cost you a fortune. Now, the Villiers Stewart family have lived in Dromana House for 27 generations, 800 years.
Wow.
And they have incredible self-catering accommodation. So you can rent out a wing and it comes to about...
A wing, no less, Thomas.
Yeah, so 160 euros a night, which is really reasonable.
Good. Yeah.
So if you have two couples, that's 40 euros per... If you do the math, that's 40 euros per person sharing. So that's like really good value.
And then plenty to see and do around.
Plenty to see. You can like venture down the coast, do like a seaweed bath in Ardmore, or down the Ringailtocht, and they're kind of becoming a thing too along the coast.
It looks very pretty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
stunning. Is it suitable for kids, Thomas?
I think, yeah, it is, because it's like outdoors and you can do like kayaking on the Blackwater, and I think Ardmore have like, kind of the cold coastal vibes. So on a good day, you can kind of head down the Strand.
And then, so we're off from West Waterford, we're heading to Finland.
Yeah, I think Finland gets a bit of a bad rap. Maybe it's like Monty Python.
Well, you think of Christmas, don't you?
Exactly. They've got the Lapland thing down. That was a really good PR coup for them. But I think Finland is my favourite place in terms of where I've ever been. So if you go beyond Helsinki, just belt off on the road, and it's almost like an open-air spa. You have all this like infinite kind of evergreen wilderness with like lakes everywhere, so you can rent or maybe on Airbnb a little cottage like we saw there. And being part of Finnish culture, you have very much kind of a sauna aspect. So many of these little cottages have their inbuilt saunas, and you and your friends can like rent out your cottage, have your like sauna vibes, then go plunging into the lakes and have like a swim and repeat that cycle.
I have friends who spend time in Finland and absolutely adore
Okay, I thought you were going to say hated it.
No, they adored it and adored the people, the culture, the lifestyle. It's apparently an incredible country to visit.
They're a different breed of
And are there
Finns.
deals available? Is it good value for money, or is it expensive like Iceland's gone very expensive?
Iceland is very expensive, no doubt about it. And Finland, I think, had that reputation, but it's not as bad. I'd say it's comparable to Ireland.
Oh, really?
You can fly there with Norwegian for about, I did a price check for 100 quid return in, we'll say, October, November, which is very good. And a good tip there for renting a car, because you'll probably need one. There's a website called autoslash.com. So it's a bit like a compare website. So it finds all the kind of the coupons and discount codes that you can never find when you're looking for them. And it will source them out for you.
So your recommendation would be fly into Helsinki, hire a car,
rent a car, and
the countryside.
Boot on up, amazing wildlife. I saw like wolves, bears, moose, you name it.
Wow.
And that whole Scandinavian food scene as well is just through the roof.
It is. It's actually really trendy as well at the moment, isn't it? What kind of climate would you expect now for autumn there?
Getting chilly. They have a short summer, and I'd say that they have a short autumn too, because it's such a long winter. But still, it's like quite pleasant. They don't get rainfall like they do here, so it can be very kind of Instagram friendly, dare we say?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like good weather.
Dry, cold.
Dry and cold. It'll snow or it'll be dry. You know what I mean? So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're looking for something slightly more long haul, you're taking us to New England.
Yeah, more long haul, but not necessarily a bank breaker. So back in the day during the Celtic Tiger, we heard of people like weekending off to New York for like Sex and the City style trips and so on. I think these long haul trips are coming back now for shorter stints, but that's because the fares have come down. So again, like with Aer Lingus and WOW Air and Norwegian, you have so much competition now. You can fly back and forth for about $250.
That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing value. And New England is kind of the quintessential kind of autumn, fall destination. So if you fly into Providence, for example, with Norwegian, which is just short of Boston, you can drive on up and do some of the coastal routes like we see here. Route 100 in Vermont, or the coastal highway #1 off the coast of Maine, are really amazing. And also with Halloween coming up, it's kind of a nice vibey time to be in the States because they do it so well.
They do it amazing. I mean,
it's like the set of every rom-com, isn't it? New England in the fall.
Though.
Exactly.
Really
and it's also Salem, Massachusetts is only up the road, the origins of the witch trial. So they have a month-long festival.
So the flights are fairly reasonable, aren't they? And again, would you say maybe hire a car and go and see a bit of the countryside?
Yeah, I mean, with the States, if you're flying in, like, public transport is obviously better. But I mean, American road trips are so like iconic. You just have to. They all drive stick, or they all drive automatic over there.
Don't do sticks.
It's plain sailing. You know, you just hop into it and go. And I definitely recommend a
plan a trip along one of those routes. You know, and do your motels and
yeah, the infrastructure is great. So you can be up in Maine in an afternoon. So you kind of, the further north you go, you kind of route out the kind of the Boston weekenders, and it gets nice and quiet and chilled out, and you like stumble upon amazing coffee shops. And
it really has made a huge difference with the introduction of the likes of Norwegian Air, hasn't it,
Thomas? Yeah. I mean, before them, fares were really creeping towards the $700-800 mark return.
Yeah.
And now
that competition is great, though, isn't it?
And Aer Lingus have brought in their like smart fares where you can now fly over without having to pay for an in-flight meal, because who wants to pay 30 or 40 euros for an in-flight meal? You know what I mean? You're better off just like snacking up before you go and bringing your
bring a packed lunch.
The sandwiches.
And your tin foil.
Bring the sambos,
Generally, are people looking at Airbnb options for these various weekends away now, Thomas, as much as hotels?
Definitely good to compare. Hipmunk is actually a really good website as well, because hipmunk.com, actually Serena Williams' husband, he's behind that. Hipmunk. And what they do, they're almost like a kayak compare site, in that they'll compare the best. If you want to go to Boston, they'll show you the cheapest hotels or Airbnb. So you've all those options on the one site. So you can go, oh, well, that hotel is like $150 a night, but that Airbnb is like $100. So you can go for that.
It just shows you that if you do plan it and you do spend a little time looking at it, you get a decent deal on the flights, you get a decent deal on accommodation, and you get a decent deal in car hire.
Absolutely. One other final flight tip is, what I do a bit is, if I'm flying, for example, with Norwegian, you know when they ask you your country of origin at the start?
Yes.
If you do that twice, like even just before I came in there, I checked flights to November to the States in November.
They adjust the price.
Yeah, so often like it might be $150 if you say you're on the American site, but the Irish one might be €100. So in that case, you'd book the Irish one, but sometimes the US one is cheaper. Yeah, you might save. Often it could be €10, but still, I mean, that's better than
valuable advice. So the long weekend we're going on is we're going to Waterford, then we're going to Finland, and then we're going to Boston.
Yeah, Boston. I think we didn't get Waterford Airport open up now again. We'll be laughing.
It'll be a nice few days, wouldn't it?
I need to lie down after it. Thank you very much for that.
Great,
Thomas, thank you. Now, coming up, autumnal styles over on the catwalk. See you in a few.